LoBaggers. It is Wednesday morning, 11:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 13th. You are watching LoShack in the Bag Show. My partner, the legend, LoShack, is not with us today. We'll be back soon. He will be back when I get back from Los Angeles, which is where I'm going next week. I'm taking the show on the road on Monday. I will be shooting live, the Late Show live at Santa Anita, the great race place, my favorite place in the entire universe. It is my favorite single spot in the entire world. I will be there on Monday. We have rented out a house with a pool for all the shows, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the late shows, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to have special guests, superstars, guys I love so much. We're going to have Whale Capper, DJ Big Boss, Trot Wham, King's Court with King Rail, and Jay Money will be live. Skeet Profit's going to be there too. Skeet Profit, was he not spectacular on yesterday's late show? What an absolute star. I really, really love working with the guy, and he was so sharp in his plays yesterday. Shout out to Skeet Profit. He will be back on the show tomorrow's late show, and then today's late show, we're going to have Jay Money is Money here joining us. And on this morning show, we're going to have Drew Martin joining us. We're going to quickly go over yesterday's results. I'm going to try and keep my cool because I'm still getting over pneumonia, which is just awful. But many people in the world are going through much, much worse things than what I'm going through. Now, let's shout out all the LoBaggers in the chat. Regina Pruitt first in the chat. Shout out to Regina Pruitt. Stephen Cook, Jay Lopez, Luis Melendez. You got Moss, Maxwell Smart in the house. That's perfect because we have a huge college basketball card. He will be on the late show. As always, Maxwell Smart is now on every single late show we have on LoShack in the Bag. Dave L.A. in the house. He's now hit 6 of his last 7 bets, fading the Pelicans first quarter. It reminds me a lot of when Twatty Latte went on that run with Cincinnati Red team total overs in the, I guess, middle part of the second half of last year. Very, very smart move, just sticking to what's working. Dave L.A. Noah Lastark in the house says Michigan, what a letdown. Yes. Rico Money in the house. We got Allison. We got Nut Flush Allen in the house. Great to have you. Drew Daddy, Anna Merrick. Wonderful MMA, big MMA doubleheader this week. Looking forward to hear what Anna Merrick has on tap. Big Tank the Gangster. Oh, God. I guess Big Tank the Gangster excited me, and I need to take a quick break so that my lungs stay together. Keith Sadler in the house. Viper and B in the house. Damon Metters, Chad Ocho. Okay, we've got Dan Kelly in the house as well. Let's see what Dan Kelly has to say. Wow, I missed a bunch of people. Ron Crawford. Look at all these great cappers. Thank us. I have to thank all of those on Full Game LA Lakers money line yesterday. You forced me to take Full Game Atlanta +6, even though I was already on first half LA Lakers -2. I won them both. Laying 2-1 on the road is too stupid for words. I hear that, Dan Kelly. Great work. And I stayed off that over, which I thought you guys were completely on the right side. But that under with the Celtics Sixers. You know, I stayed away from a lot of landmines in NBA and still ended up going 1 for 2. Jazz cover the first half, but don't cover the first quarter. Let's quickly go over what happened. T-Money says Spurs or terrible. Drew Daddy says, Jimmy, don't take the Pistons night. Ski Profit joining us. King Rail joining us. Thank God you guys are here. We have a huge NBA card. Ricardo Gutierrez, Richard Lee, Jeff Mahone, JC Alvarez, Pie Guy, 400. What a great group. Okay, let's get to work right now. Let's quickly go over what happened yesterday. Atlanta did cover the first quarter, and it was a play I wanted to make all day and didn't make, and that's fine. That's fine. A lot of you sharp NBA cappers were on the Lakers early, and because of that disaster they had in Philadelphia, it's fine that I stayed off of it. Lakers ended up covering the first half anyway, so whatever. It is what it is. Orlando dominated New Orleans. I think we're seeing 2 things here. We're seeing a team that's finally playing important games in this type in the last half of the season, and they're going to play well. This is what they've always wanted. And we have New Orleans, after Anthony Davis asking for a trade, I think they're just going to struggle enormously down the stretch. And then we have Boston, Philadelphia. You know, Philly's just a strange team, and Marcus Morris's speech towards that the team, his teammates being involved on the bench and being involved on the court generally means defensive intensity. And even though they put up 70 points combined in the fourth quarter, Ski and I hit that under, and that one put a real big smile on my face. And then we have Spurs Memphis. They hit the over with only 35 points combined in the fourth quarter. Memphis covers, just like Ski said, and without Conley, which is unbelievable. The Spurs are just trash on the road and shouldn't be trusted. But they're so bad defensively, even a team like Memphis, who can't score, puts up 107 and the over hits. And then we have Utah at Golden State. Utah covers again, just like Ski talked about Utah covering. Unbelievable. They cover the half, they cover the full game, and I lose on my first quarter play. I guess that shit happens. Disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Allison says Pens tonight versus Oilers. I hope you're on it. Yeah, I'm on the under 6.5. I already tweeted it out. I thought I was going to beat a line move, and I haven't. I'm on the under 6.5 here. Malkin suspended. We'll get into that game soon. Now, NCAA basketball, a tough night for me. I went 0-4 in my double-ups with Michigan and Buffalo. Imagine if I hadn't got in the St. Bonnie under and St. Bonnie first half, what a bad night I would have had. Every time I struggle in college basketball, and Max, listening to Max and banging out Max's plays, Max smashes the next day. I think that's going to happen. Richard Lee says, great call on Bruins puck line, Jimmy. That was just too easy. I mean, just like the Capitals beating the Kings, we weren't getting too big of a number because the Blackhawks are still bad, but I really felt that was too easy to play. But then I fucked it up. I went 0-4 on totals yesterday in NHL, and it's just it just ruined my whole night. All I needed, though, was Vegas, who was completely outplaying Arizona, to win the puck line, and I would have hit my parlay. It was just a half $100, but plus 362, and then hit my $200 on the minus 1.5, which I believe I got plus 125, and they lost, and it screwed me. But man, the Lightning and the Blue Jackets at really nice spots were just too easy. The puck lines were too easy, and yet still I'm going to be down units last night. Winnipeg did not cover. St. Louis is rolling. Just like St. Louis Elite, one of our great NHL cappers said. They're absolutely. Drew Daddy says, stay off totals, Jimmy. You said yourself, man. If a total jumps at me in the morning, I have no problem jumping on it. But you're right. I'm much better at sides than I am at totals. This Devils team on the road is just an auto fade. Detroit stepped up and beat Nashville. Nashville just can't be trusted. Toronto took care of Colorado. I really expected to hit the under 6.5 there. I didn't. They went to 7 goals. Looking over this card, Carolina puts up 4 goals in the third period, and I don't hit the over. I mean, it was difficult. I stayed off of landmines. I stayed away from the Islanders. They didn't. It's just very dodgy, taking road favorites. All in all, it was a huge card. I had a ton, more money I've had invested in months and months and months, and I ended up losing on the day. It's been a tough month, but I expect to get it back with the low baggers and us focusing on the hardwood. We're going to have Jay Money's money on the late show. I've already seen that Ski Prophet and King Rail are joining us for this NBA card. So let's just get to work. Base Kniff says Jad Johnson in net for the Ducks. It's just, what, at this point, well, let's just start with Edmonton at Pittsburgh. Now, we don't have our records because, as you can tell, we are using we don't have the TriCaster going, so this is a Google Hangout. We're going to have the records up. My records have taken a big hit since the legend Lodels has not been beside me, since I've not been able to hear his breakdowns and him watching the market and staring to his mustache. I have been struggling. Come back to us, Lodels. We hope to have Lodels back as soon as I get back from LA. Okay, let's get to work. Bleds W says Jimmy Howard played the best game ever yesterday. I like Howard. I've always liked Jimmy. Think he's a good player. Pie Guy says Detroit's 7-8 in their last. Okay, let's get to work as a team here. Edmonton at Pittsburgh, under 6.5. I love this under, and I'm absolutely shocked. That I didn't beat a line move. The main reason why I popped it out early was I was like, oh, man, I'm going to smash this line move, and that is not happening. Let's take a quick look at where it's gone. I was certain. I was like, man, now when I take a total in the morning, I have no problem. I'll do that all the time. But when I get talked into a total or start feeling a total later, it's a little uncomfortable. No, Drew Daddy Pete does care about the show very, very, very much. I promise you that. Pete is going to be back beside me. This show means the whole world to him, and he's just taking a little break. I can't wait to have him back. We all can't, but I promise you, the low baggers mean the world to us. Okay, let's quickly hammer this Edmonton Pittsburgh. Literally, this under 6.5 is just screaming at me. Without Malkin, the way the Pens are going to be playing right now, and I've seen them play without Malkin often, and they could easily cover a puck line against this bad Edmonton team. Let's break this game down further. Penguins snapped their 4-game losing streak, 4-1 win at Philadelphia on Monday night. They were badly outshot. They pulled off the win because of Matt Murray. That's another reason why I love this. Now, probably the smartest move here would be the Oilers team total under, and you're going to get a 2.5. I get that, but I love this 6.5. And I'm taking the under here. Murray's playing spectacular, as good as I've ever really seen him play. There was bad news. Oli Mata left Monday's game with a shoulder injury, immediately put on injured reserve. Mata is now out indefinitely. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean more holes defensively. That just means more conservative play by the defensemen who are going to be stepping up in minutes. Last night, they announced that Malkin is going to be suspended for a game for his high stick that takes offense off of the ice. Justin Schultz, who's missed 4 months because of a broken leg, could play against the Oilers. And Zach Aston-Reese, who's a fourth liner, will be back from a hand injury. This Oilers team is a well-rested group. They're coming off a 5-2 loss at San Jose on Saturday night. They've now lost 7 of 8. This depth is an absolute joke. Mr. Gokster says, I agree, Jim, much better. Tell me you're kidding me. What are you talking about? Talk to me. Scott says, Gokster's Costa Rican kid can join Jimmy in a few years as co-host. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I will help. I will be there for your Costa Rican child, Gokster. I will be there for him. Teach him English, all that good stuff. Look at the depth chart with this Oilers squad. Absolute mess, okay? They've got really a nice group of centers. You know, you're talking about McDavid, the best player in the NHL, Draisaitl, who's a really good young player, fast, big. And then you got Nugent Hopkins, who has issues because he's just not big enough. He's always had a boy's body out there. But look at these wingers. What a trash group. Left wing depth chart, Milan Lucic, Tobias Ryder, Juhar Khaira, Colby Cave. Right wing depth chart, Ty Ratty, Alex Chason, Jesse Puljujarvi, and Zach Kassian. That's an AHL wingers, and that's why they're just absolute trash. Mr. Gokster says, thanks, Jimmy. You can be the godfather. I would be honored. Yo says hockey sucks today. Listen, that Vancouver-Anaheim game is trash. I would love to take Anaheim, and I still might. I would love to take Anaheim, a terrible, terrible rested hockey team. Well, let's just quickly look again at this Edmonton-Pittsburgh spot. Pittsburgh, the only good thing about Edmonton is their power play. They're 9th in the league at 22.8, but the Penguins have the kind of penalty killing that can slow that down. 9th in penalty killing, 81.9. I see this as being a conservative game for the Pens. Allison says Matt Murray in net, he's fire. I don't see this as a stay away game. I see this under 6.5 is a really nice spot. Pie Guy says Ty Ratty makes that McDavid kid look good, Jimmy. Look, Ty Ratty's their number one winger on the depth chart. Ty Ratty, you know, offensively gifted player whom a lot of people have high hopes for. We'll see what he does. Anthony S says huge Anaheim puck line, Jimmy, but too scared. You're absolutely right. And the reason why we're too scared is Chad Johnson. 2-11-0, 3.63 goals against average, 879 save percentage. And we found out that the Canucks were forced to throw DiPietro in goal. Let's break this game down here. This is a stay away game for me at this point. It's just very, very scary backing the Canucks on the road, which they've been good all year, 12-14-4. But the real reason is Anaheim has now fired Carlisle. They have Bob Murray, the general manager, team's vice president now, interim head coach. He says he was influenced by his desire to be accountable for the team he put together and to face those players in the heat of competition. I think they're going to step up. He said, I had to go downstairs and live it with these guys. I have to find out everything going on down there. It's more problematic than I thought a while ago. The only way I felt it was fair was for me to get down there. I touched base with a lot of people I respect in this business a while ago. I felt this was the right time. No Gibson because of an upper body injury. Eves is sick. Holzer is a personal. Kevin Roy, a fourth line winger, has an upper body injury day to day. Andre Case, Ryan Miller out indefinitely. The Canucks are coming off that joke of a loss with DiPietro in goal, making his NHL debut. They're not going to go through that again. They just picked up Marek Mazinek off the Rangers. He spent the year with the Hartford Wolfpack. He's played 31 games in his career in the NHL. Hasn't played in the NHL since 2016. But obviously, the DiPietro situation was a mess. Canucks are without Brandon Sutter, lower body, Alexander Edler, concussion, Sven Berchi, and that, we believe, is a concussion right now. And I just feel like just got to stay off this game. Simply put, got to stay off this game. I want to take the Ducks so badly. I may end up taking the Ducks, but can you actually back Chad Johnson? I can't. Team Money says goalie's still terrible. Adam Lastman says Ducks are horrible, unreal. Yeah, so that's what's up. Oh, Gate Pass Key, love seeing him. Says, do the Ducks have a response to the change in coaching? They're all under review and they know it. Do some of them play marginally so they actually get traded? I know all the single guys went out. Interesting. Wow, Troy V just said Flacco to the Broncos. Wow, Troy, that's wild. Carlos Perot says Edmonton, Pittsburgh equals goals. I don't agree, but the market is saying that. I don't agree, Carlos. I really think this is like a 3-1 or 4-1 type game for Pittsburgh, and yet I'm not on the puck line right now. I just feel like the best spot for me is the -1.5. And Gabe Pasquet, I think the Canucks win easily. Just a relaxed team up against a team that may or may not be motivated. Interesting. Simone Mambella in the house. Shout out. Jay Wash says, thanks for the 3-teamer yesterday. Blues, Lightning, Blue Jackets. Lightning and Blue Jackets were awesome spots. Okay. And Team Money says, if you like the Ducks, just stay off the game. And that's exactly, Team Money, you absolutely nailed it for me. Tony Dew says, they haven't announced the starting goalie for Canucks yet. Markstrom is still injured. That's a huge point. That's a huge, huge point, Tony Dew. You're absolutely right, and that's the reason why they brought up Merrick Masnick. If you read some outlets say that DiPietro might be back in Golden Knight, Markstrom is still dealing with a tweak, a lower body tweak, and yeah. So that the Tony Dew, that's an excellent point. If you're going to take the Canucks, I implore you to wait. And I think that Team Money's absolutely right. If you like the Ducks, stay off the game. I think you guys both banged that out perfectly. I'm on the under 6.5, Edmonton at Pittsburgh. It's my favorite look on the card. There's only 2 games. Let's move on, and let's not spend much time on this NHL card. Now, let's get to NBA. Man, I stayed off of landmines yesterday. We nailed that under with Ski Profit, and yet I still come out 1-2. Chris Gill in the house says, you killed last night in NHL. Didn't you? No. 0-4 in totals. And it cost me a winning day. It cost me a winning day. Bubba V says puck line pit all day, and I can understand that play completely and totally. Okay, guys, let's get into NBA. Let's work. We got some incredible cappers in the house. Let's just start rolling through this card. I've not made any plays yet. I've not made any bets yet, other than the under 6.5 in the NHL game that I talked about. Mr. Ghost says if DiPietro goes again, you got to look over. Absolutely, but DiPietro is not going again. I truly believe he's not going again. Team Money said Smart not taking the Sixers. You know, it was tough. It was very tough. It was a very difficult card last night, but Ski Profit seeing things clearly. We now have Ski Profit on our show Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, let's go. Let's start with Nets at Cavs. So I'm going to bring up the odds here, and then we'll break down the game in each and every one of these games, and we're going to have Drew Martin joining us in a short time. And okay, let's roll. Brooklyn at Cleveland. Opened at Brooklyn -6.5. Money coming in on them. 7.5 now at some books. Total opens up at 220 and has creeped up to 222. Nets coming off that tough 127-125 loss at Toronto on Monday night. They've lost 4 straight road games, although the last one was nice. The one before that was awful. They've now lost 6 of 8 overall. D'Angelo Russell continues his great play. 28 points, 14 assists, a career-high 14 assists on Monday. Joe Harris, you know, when the Cavs had LeBron, I was shocked that they let go of Joe Harris. He's now showing offense, but he's always showed perimeter defense. Kevin Rutham, like in Cleveland, +6.5, and base Kniff right underneath. Got Nets at -6. Nets and under 229, Rico. I don't know. Oh, I guess you're teasing it. Because it's a 222 spot, Rico. Now, you got it at 229. Wow, because it opens at 220. Wow, that must be a mistake by a book here, because, like, even looking at Pinnacle, it opens at 220. Wow, I'd love to. Wow, that's a wild, wild score, Rico. Taking advantage of a situation. I get it. Okay. Dan Kelly says LeBron's a racist. That's why they let go of Joe Harris. You know, I'm a LeBron fan, and I like him as a person, and I find that tough to believe, Dan. I find that tough to believe. But let's keep rolling. Anthony S. says, is this a Cleveland first quarter play at home, Jimmy? I don't think it is, because the Nets have lost 4 straight. I mean, we're going to continue breaking this game down. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Mr. Ghost says, hey, Jim, did you get that flat brim I left you San Francisco? I did, Mr. Ghost. I will be rocking it. You know I will be rocking it. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. You are a great guy. Let's break this down more. Alan Crabb contributed 22 points. Joe Harris just contributed 24 points. Spencer Dinwiddie, right thumb surgery, was back on the court doing individual work. He's going to be out for a while. Damari Carroll says he feels better. He's going to be back in the lineup. Jared Dudley still dealing with the hamstring injury. Interesting stuff. King Rail says, I can't wait until All-Star break. I need a break from NBA for a few days. Fade Cavs. That's a no-brainer. Yeah, I hear that, but this is a team that's playing a little better. They stopped their 4-game losing streak. They've now won 3 of 7 since losing 18 of 19. Colin Sexton is playing great, 20 points against New York. Larry Nance Jr. playing well. Jordan Clarkson playing well. They each scored 15. Kevin Love looked great in those 16 minutes, 14 points, 9 boards. C.D. Osman remain on the sidelines. He's not going to be in the lineup. Zizic, questionable to play on Wednesday, so he might be back from his back injury. but they may hold him until the break. I could understand that. Tristan Thompson ruled out. Thompson hasn't played since January 16th. Adam Lastman liking Cavs with the points. Kevin Ruthman says Kevin Love playing. Says I will take the Cavs with the points. T-Money says Knicks cover. Cavs got their win against the Knicks. Now we will have and Pablo Marquez says Kevin Love playing or not. He will be playing. And Ski Profit. At first glance, I like the Nets under 222 and Nuggets -8. Haven't capped them. I'm sure I'll find things when I do. Looking forward to hearing. Thank you for joining us. Well, let's work together. At this point, I find this a dangerous game. Mark Jones says Cavs play well enough to cover, but lose. And that's sort of where I'm leaning. That is sort of where I'm leaning. And Barry talking about Flacco to the Broncos. Very interesting one. Carlos Burrows, Cavs to the point. Very interesting. So now at this point with the chat, and Mally Mal saying Cavs always win after a loss. I mean, they're 12-45. And Kim Russ says Jimmy Sexton was on any other team, he would not be starting. He's not good. He has length and he can do things offensively. I just hate the way he distributes. I hate it. I would much prefer him at a 2, but I understand, King, why you feel that way. Absolutely understand that. Kevin Ruthman says, I don't think, okay. And Stephen Henley says, Nets money line. You don't want to take a big minus spot on the road. That just does not make sense. Okay, well, that's what's up. That's what's up here. Let's roll into this next. Love resting. Captain 24/7 says, love resting. Wow, that was not information that I had received when I was breaking down this game. Love resting. Very, very interesting. Okay, let's keep rolling right along. Let's move on to this next game here. Bucks at Pacers. Let's quickly look at line movement here. Opens Bucks -4. Now -3.5 across the board. Bovada's still hanging at 4. This total's gone up 2 points to 220 from 218. Wow, Captain 24/7 says the score app has Love resting 5 minutes ago. Very, very helpful. Thank you, Captain 24/7. Love is resting. Wow, that does make you want to jump on the Nets. DMX 93 says Nets definitely want to win before the break. That's true. That is absolutely true. Okay, Indiana lost four straight games without Oladipo, and now they are about to win or could win. I shouldn't say about to win. They're playing the Bucks. They've now won 6 straight, coming off that 99-90 at home over the Hornets. Wesley Matthews made his team debut, 8 points and 5 boards in 30 minutes against the Knicks. He looked, a tiny bit better against the Hornets. Tyreek Evans should have been able to take the starting role. What the hell's been wrong with him this year? He's averaging just 10.4 points per game, shooting just 39% from the field. When Oladipo went down, this should have been his spot to take over as a starter. In the last 5 games, which they've won them all, he's averaging 7.3 points per game, shooting 38% from the field. Very disappointing stuff. Pacers have won their last 4 home meetings against the Bucks, but this is simply a different Bucks team. Bucks coming off their 13th win in the last 15 games, 112-99. Now, that was a very close game, but Antetokounmpo comes back, scores 29 points on just 13 field goal attempts, 17 boards, 8 assists, 3 blocks. He's playing very well. Eric Bledsoe scores 12 of his 19 points, and they needed him. 12 of his 19 points in the fourth quarter, and they needed those points badly. Nikola Mirotic yet to make his debut. I'm sure that they're going to sit him till after the All-Star break. There's no point to play him here. Ray Buja says, Bucks tonight, Jimmy. Carlos Pro says, Indiana's starting to tank. They know their season's over. They've won 6 straight. Adam Lastman says, Bucks for me. Regina Pruitt in the house. Love having Regina here. Let's see what else. King Rail says, Bucks are the best team in the East. Kevin Russell says, all my friends are on the Bucks. Kevin Russell says, public is on the Bucks. Fred Gialli agreeing, says, Bucks are the best team in the East. Mal says, Pacers is not messing with Bucks, especially with not Oladipo. Bucks are a real team. I agree with you guys. Eric Jones liking the under 220. I agree with you guys. Yes, Indiana's a tough place to play. Rico Money leaning to the Pacers. But I agree with Allison. I agree with all you guys. Bucks should take care of business here. But Barry Cohen says, everyone is on the Bucks. Be careful. I just feel like the Bucks are a really good team. Now, they had trouble with the Bulls a couple nights ago. I mean, they're just 19-9 on the road. Ricardo Gutierrez says, I like Indy at home to cover. And Corey Mack says, do you have an opening line at -5, Jimmy? Well, I use Bet Online opening lines because I love how they're first in the market. I have -4 as the opening line from Bet Online. Why is this line so low? That's what Ty M says. And it's simply because the Pacers have been winning games at home. I have a lean towards the Bucks, but I'm not going to make a move at this point. Let's move on to Pistons at Celtics. Pistons have won 4 straight. They're actually playing pretty good basketball. Griffin is averaging 25.8 points, 7 boards, 6.3 assists during this 4-game winning streak. Drummond is playing very well as well. 26.3 points, 16.3 boards. They're coming off that 121-112 win at home over the Wizards on Monday night. In that Monday night game, King Rail said there's no way the Wizards, even if he was hoping that Jeff Green was going to be out. Jeff Green is hurting, played 28 minutes, did not look good. He said that there's no way that Wizards team can handle Griffin and Drummond down low, and he was absolutely right. Drummond goes for 32, 17 boards. Griffin goes for 31, 9 and 9. This Pistons group is healthy. Wednesday's game, it was the finale of a 4-game series between these two teams. Boston won the first 2. Detroit took the last one, 113-104 at home. Celtics are on the second half of a back-to-back. Very, very impressive 112-109 win at Philly. Just feels. Ricardo Gutierrez says Kyrie, game time decision. I'm telling you, I do not think Kyrie will be in the lineup. There's no point to play Kyrie right now. Rest him through the All-Star break. So I would cap this game expecting him not to be in the lineup. They sure responded to Marcus Morris' speech. Hayward goes for 26 off the bench. Horford goes for 23. Tatum goes for 20 and 10. They commit just 6 turnovers. Baines is still out. Adam Lastman says Pistons with the points. This feels like a letdown spot for Boston. But do you want to back the Pistons on the road? 9 and 16 on the road? I certainly don't. Opens Boston minus 5.5. Down to 5. Still 5.5 at some books. The total's gone down from 212 to 210. Anthony S. says fade Boston after big win on the road last night. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. But I've been burnt backing this Pistons team on the road. Burnt. But they're playing good basketball. Base Kniff says Boston sucks on no rest. Steve Henley says Pistons. Celtics gave a lot to win versus Sixers. Fred Gialli leading under. I am as well. Shout out to DJ Big Boss putting together enormous things. And we're going to start letting people know about them. You were right, Flip. Saturday will be a family affair. Friday night is the topless bar that we will be hitting dames in games. I won't get into it, but I'm very excited. Okay, let's keep rolling here. I agree with you guys. Aaron Bistron says Detroit can't shoot. Terrible outside shooting. But, okay, let's hear this. I'll see. This is why this is great. In the past 3+ seasons, this is from Dan Kelly, teams on a 17-game losing streak and at home, that's the Knicks, are 0-1 straight up, 0-1 against and 1-0 over under. Okay, I feel that. Flipper was said I was just busting balls. I hear you, Flip. But no, you're right. The Saturday meetup for the Lakers game at 4 in the afternoon should be kind of a situation where, you can bring people and not be concerned that there'll be giant tits in your face. Omaha 11 says Celtics 111, Pistons 106, like in the over. I lean towards the Pistons. We're going to have Jay Money on the show. I'm keeping my eye out for what you guys are saying. And a bunch of guys on Army and led by Maxwell Smart, who got it at minus 1.5. I believe it was -3. And shout out to you guys. Get that cash. So I lean, but I don't know if I'm going to make a move. Shout out to Daryl Lyles. Let's move on to Sixers at Knicks. Sixers on the second half of a back-to-back after losing 112-109, as we said, against the Celtics last night. Embiid was very angry at the officiating after the game. I just have this sneaking suspicion that the Sixers are going to be resting people, and I couldn't get that information. Embiid might be one of them. 9 for 22 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3. We still got 23 and 14. Tobias Harris looked bad, 4 for 14 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. He was a -12 while on the floor. Sixers were 9 for 27 from 3. They committed 14 turnovers compared to the Celtics 6. And this is their last game before the break. You have to wonder if Embiid is going to be rested. Kate Pasky says, I stopped going to strippers when my first daughter was born and then had another daughter. Not a judgment. Just and it's not a stripper. There's no strippers. It's just a sports bar with tits. So, but I hear what you're saying, Kate Pasky. But it's not a strip club. It's a sports bar. Just happen to be, bouncing tits. Monday night, Knicks broke their franchise record, 17 straight loss. They've now lost 25 of 26. It was 107-104 at Cleveland. They lost 30 of 32. They shot just 7 for 26 from 3. That's not going to change. They have no outside shooting. I mean, Arizona's Kadeem Allen puts up 25 points and steps up offensively because no one else can. He scored 26 points in his previous 4 games. Dennis Smith Jr. went for 10 points and 4 assists in 31 minutes. He does not look good. Chase Baker says, I was just going to say, Jimmy, they're going to rest against the Knicks, take some points. Yeah. King Rail says refs were foul happy yesterday in the NBA. Chris Gill says, Jimmy, even if Sixers are resting players, do you still trust the Knicks to win or even cover? Listen, that's the thing. If they're resting players, then get a much better line. That's all I'm talking about. Get a much better line. Rico Money says rather lean to the under in the 76ers game. That's interesting. Bubba V says Sixers going to open up second half. Oh, and run after these last few. I hear that. Flipper13 says, man, I wish I could go Friday night, but I will not be able to arrive until Saturday. Hey, we'll make Saturday special with you, Flip. I can't wait to see you again, Flipper13. You're a great, great guy. Okay. Omaha says Knicks first half. Rico Money says Sixers and under. For me, and Carlos Barreau says a game before the All-Star game, they'll be ready to go party. Interesting. Me too, Drew says, I'm an ass guy. I hear you, Drew. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you can love the whole thing. You can love every single part of them. That's possible too. Okay, let's roll. Dave LA Kings first quarter money line. Interesting. Omaha 88. Let's roll into that game. Right now, I just want to wait. I just feel like let's wait and hear what the Sixers decide to do. Wizards at Raptors. Toronto won the first 3 games of the meetings between these two teams. Raptors beat the Wizards 117-113 in DC, 125-107 in Toronto, and 140-138 back in Washington. So they barely win in Washington. They smash them in Toronto. Both teams played Monday night. Wizards lost to Detroit 121-112, and the Wizards were playing without Satoransky. So we know that John Wall's out forever, and Satoransky is listed as questionable. He is expecting, his wife's expecting, and we don't know. Maxwell Smart says, I'm a guy who loves taint. I respect that, Max. I respect that, Max. And we're going to get you down to Costa Rica, hopefully for March Madness, and I'll get you all the taint you've ever dreamt of. Don't worry about that. Allison says, Raptors, but minus 11. Well, we're talking about a Wizards team with no point guards. So they got Chase Randall. It made his first NBA start against the Pistons. Jordan McRae, who's the top scorer in the G League, averaging 30 a game in the G League, also was in action. So Randall goes for 5 and 1 for 19 points. McRae, though, looked okay. And I think they go give McRae more run, 10 points, 4 assists in 19 minutes. Bradley Beal, also a huge game, 32 points, 6 boards, 10 assists in 41 minutes. Very impressive. The Pistons were outscored by the Wizards 56-40 in the paint. Jeff Green, as we said, left hip tightness, played 28 minutes, but did not look very good. I think that the Wizards probably get smashed here. They probably get smashed here. Kawhi and the Raptors are coming off a bad game. They barely beat Brooklyn. I feel like they step up. They have no Fred VanVleet. That's a problem because they still haven't announced the Jeremy Lin signing. Fred Gialli says Raptors just can't cover big against spreads at home. I agree. Pie Guy says the Raptors should smash. They should. The question is, will they? And that's the issue. That's the big issue. Raptors have won 5 in a row. They're just a game back from the Bucks. I do think that we can beat the Bucks in a playoff series. I know a lot of you guys liking the Raptors. Ray Bruder says, can you trust these Raptors, though, Jimmy? You can't. You just can't trust them to cover double-digit spreads. But in situations like this, I have taken the Raptors first half and been successful with it. Let's take a quick look at the movement in this Toronto-Washington game. We have the Raptors minus 10.5, moved to minus 11. The totals creeped up a half point to 233. Mally Mouse says Raptors 3-0 in the series, 2-1 against the spread. Kevin Retham says you just don't know when the Raptors are going to cover last night. Time says Vegas was terrible last night. And King Rail says I'm with you, Jimmy, on the Raps. I really think it's the play. King, are you going to take them full game first half? What's your play going to be? And Omaha says I may bet Wizards first half. I think the Raptors come out strong first half. I'm going to have a first half lean, not making a move yet. Going to spend a lot of time working on these games in the afternoon, and then we'll have Jay Money. It's money. Let's move on to Grizzlies at Bulls. Grizzlies on the second half of a back-to-back after losing 108-107 at home last night to the Spurs. Shout out to Skeet Prophet, who was on that. Avery Bradley, career-high 33 points. Jonas Valanciunas goes for 23 points, 10 boards. A very impressive first action with the Grizzlies. You guys are going to love him, Grizzlies fans. Listen to what Bickerstaff said about him. He said he has an intellect, the willingness to compete, and an unselfish nature. God, you guys are in for a real treat, but you need to get him locked long-term. Conley did not play Tuesday night because of an illness. His status is uncertain at this point against the Bulls. Kyle Anderson dealing with shoulder injury, unlikely tonight. Bulls have lost 4 or 5, first 2 games of this 3-game homestand. They looked pretty good against the Bucks on Monday night. They were in that game the whole time until the Bucks pulled away in the stretch. Otto Porter looks great. He's averaged 17.7 points, 4.3 boards per game in the 3 contests with Chicago. He's gone 8 for 14 from 3. Chris Dunn, questionable because of a bruised tailbone. He missed practice on Tuesday. Says he's very sore and stiff. I would expect him not to be in the lineup here. Allison says Grizzlies playing hard right now. I agree, Allison. Trenton Claxton liking the Bulls half over. Interesting. That's an interesting spot. And when Kevin Rutham running, even if Conley does not play. Wow. Fred Gialli's on the Bulls and the over. Kevin Rutham says Grizzlies should win. And Smart Money says stay away from NBA till after All-Star break. And that does sound like Smart Money talking. And King Rail says kind of like the Bulls haven't capped it yet. Let's take a quick look at the spread and the total in this spot. Memphis at Chicago. Chicago opens as 1.5 point favorites. Money coming in on them now 2.5. And they look great last game. And the total's gone up from 203 to 207. I kind of like the under in this spot. Going against that huge move would be dangerous, but I kind of like it. All right. I'm going to stay off making a move on that game. Let's move on to Rockets at Timberwolves. Rockets coming off that 120-104 home victory over the Mavericks on Monday night. Harden dealing with a shoulder injury, but he is going to play, and he's starting to get help. 4 other players hit 17 points against the Mavericks. Austin Rivers out with the right sore elbow. Capella, as we know, still recovering from thumb surgery. Mavericks are coming off a 130-120 home victory over the Clippers. Sorry, why do I have Mavericks here? That's Timberwolves, excuse me. The Timberwolves are coming off the 130-120 home victory, and it's because they got their point guards back. T goes for 19 points, 10 assists. Derrick Rose, 22.6 assists. That's the first time they've both been available in 10 games, and they need them desperately. They didn't have Covington in the lineup with an ankle injury. He's going to be out for a while still. Wiggins dealing with an illness. Tyus Jones still dealing with an ankle injury. Luol Deng. There was a Luol Deng appearance, and he looked fine. 38 minutes, 12 and 9. Dario Saric is going to stay in the starting lineup. Taj Gibson's going to start coming in off the bench. Saric looked good, 19 points, 8 boards, a couple steals. He's going to stay in the starting lineup. So let's see what you guys are saying on this. T-Money says, I got the same feeling on Rockets and Bucks. You got Moss says, Rockets playing well. Freed playing awesome. Freed is stepping up. Omaha 88 says, Rockets versus Timberwolves. Last game, Rockets go up by 12 at half, then fuck up the second half and lose. Molly Mal says, Minnesota horrible on the road. Let's take a quick look at market movement in this Rocket spot. Opens at -3, -3.5, -4 is now. So opens at 3, goes up 3.5 for 4 for the Rockets on the road. And this total keeps dropping, but slightly, but keeps dropping as the show goes on. Opens at 231.5, now 230.5. Very interesting. Oh, and Captain 24/7 says just take the over. This game's going to take a little bit more analysis, but I have to think that the Rockets want to get some wins here before the end of the season, and I lean Rockets. Omaha 88 says that's a huge total. You know, I've taken unders in Timberwolves games, and it's blown up in my face. And you got Moss says Minnesota is at home. You're absolutely right. They're at home. You know, I think the Rockets can take care of business here. I think they're playing better basketball. I think they want to get these wins before the break. I can understand why this line's moved in their direction. You know, who knows how the Timberwolves, who knows how the ankles of Teague and Rose are feeling right now after their first game in a long time. You know, I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to jump on the Houston Rockets here. Omaha 88 says Rockets are better, but can they cover the 4? I really love these 3.5, 4-point spreads. I mean, easily covered in the last 20 seconds with fouls. I would love to hear. I'm very close to taking the Rockets. Omaha says I'm sold Rockets first half money line. I'd love to hear what Ski and King have to say about that. I really. Oh wow! And King hit that under. It was a ballsy play. Anthony S says Rockets been rolling. Big win before the break. Might take first half full game. Anthony S, I'm sold. Keith Sadler says don't trust Rockets. They need to get these wins right now, and they know that. And this is a nice spot for them. Let's see. I mean, Timberwolves are 18-10 at home. I think I might just keep a lean right now, but I think the Rockets take care of business in this game. I really, really do. Let's move on to Heat at Mavericks. We're going to have Drew Martin joining us shortly here to break down this college basketball game. We still have 4 games to break through, so I'm going to roll this as quickly as possible here because I can't wait to hear what Drew's looking at in the college card. So it may just take us a few more minutes through. Heat at Mavericks. Yeah, King Rail says Rockets look like the best bet on the road. Ski Prophet says Rockets 6-12 as a road fave. Yeah, but I feel like some of these Rocket stats, I mean, seeing them get all that play from the bench last game 4 other players getting 17 points. Dave Ellis says I'm taking the Wolves. Okay. Interesting. Don't like hearing that, Dave LA. Okay, let's roll. And Pie Guy says Heat seem like a no-brainer. I don't know if they do. And I know this Mavericks starting lineup is absolute trash. Other than Doncic. Kleber, Finney-Smith, Brunson, Hardaway Jr. It is so ugly. But this has been a tough stretch for the Heat, man. 4 games of a tough 6-game road trip. They're coming off their first bad loss of the trip, 103-87 in Denver on Monday night. Their starting 5 was destroyed. Whiteside could not keep up with Jokic. Only plays 20 minutes, scores 6 points. They go 9 for 33 from 3. They've now lost 6 of 7. I agree the Mavericks are giving up on this year. They're solely focused on next year. In saying that, do you want to make a move here on the Heat? Game 5 of a 6-game. Rico Money also liking Rockets and the over. Omaha 88 says, I bet Whiteside wins the tip. Wins the tip. I hear you. I feel that. Listen, I think he comes back tough. I think he comes back strong, Whiteside, in this game against a very weak starting 5. He's going to beat up on Kleber. Dan Kelly liking first half Houston. I almost want to double up on this Houston spot. I lean first half and full game. I'm going to take a little bit more time and make these plays on the late show, but that makes a lot of sense for me. Scott says Heat Mavs feeling an over. Let's quickly look at the line movement. Sorry to hold you there, Drew. We're almost through this card. -2 for Dallas. Now -2.5, -3, and the totals crept up from 207 to 207.5, 208. I think this is a very, very dangerous game. Oh, Michael Jordan in the house. Nice to have Michael Jordan, man. Got some wow, NBA royalty in the house. The Heat in Game 5 of a tough 6-game road trip is dangerous. Omaha 88 giving a final score of Miami 107, Dallas 105. Adam Lastman says only plays the Heat Mavs over 208. David Elliott says pass to me. Okay, let's keep rolling. Okay, Kings at Nuggets. Nuggets coming off that 103-87 win over the Heat. They've been spectacular this year. Come on. Millsap, Harris, Barton, Murray have all missed big chunks of time, and they're 38-18 first in the Northwest after the best start in NBA history. Now they have Isaiah Thomas, who looks like he's going to step in tonight and play. Who knows what he's going to do? Gary Harris coming back after the break. Tyler Lydon now with a concussion. Kings are playing their last game before the All-Star break. This is a rested team. They're coming off a 6-game homestand. They went 5-1. They finished off with an easy 117-104 win at Phoenix. Harrison Barnes is not figured out. They haven't figured out his spot right now. Alec Burks also they bring in from Cleveland. They get Caleb Swanigan. He hasn't played. This is a healthy, rested group. Omaha 88 has a 7-point win. Nuggets 118, Kings 111. Let's quickly look at the line movement in this spot. Opens with Nuggets 7.5 to 8, and the total creeps up 229.5 to 231. Wow, that's interesting. Ski Profit coming in saying Kings 7-13 as a road dog. Nuggets 18-7 as a home favorite. Yeah, I like the Nuggets to finish this off strong. And David, I said this is going to be a good game. I agree. I think the Kings are a rested group. Maybe this over is going to be in play, but it's a high one, and keeps creeping up. I think this over is going to be in play. Sackdown King makes a great point. Great call, Sackdown King, saying Kings had their first practice with the new guys Monday and Tuesday. Mally Mouse says I like the over in the Nuggets game. And King Rail saying fade Kings on the road. T-Money says I like Kings here. I think this over is in play. And I'm going to make my first move in this game. I'm going to make my first on this card. I'm going to take the over in Sacramento, Denver. I see it 231 here at Pinnacle. Sorry, Drew. I'm so excited to have you. I'm so sorry. We're just taking a little bit too much time on this card. I'm going to take the over 231 at -105. That's available at Pinnacle. That's available at 5 Dimes. That's available at Bovada. I'm taking over 231 over 231 at -105. That is my first play on the card. Adam Lassman says Nuggets win this and cover. And Dave LA saying, yeah, that over looks good. Okay, that's my first play on the card now. I'm going to make a lot more plays on the late show, especially when we have J Money is Money. And King Rail says, I like the over bet. Okay, that makes me feel good. But Omaha 88 giving. Oh, that's Bucks Pacers. Okay, Warriors at Blazers, and then Suns at Clippers, and then we're gonna have Drew Martin come in and break down this college card together with Maxwell Smart in the house. I love this. Warriors at Blazers. Warriors on the second half of a back-to-back, stretched their winning streak to 5 games, did not cover. It's a pretty hard-fought win, 115-108 over the Jazz in Oakland, and now they head up to Portland. Steph Curry says, we want to finish on a high note. We have to go up to Portland and get a win. Golden State's won 16 of their past 17, 11-game winning streak on the road. Cousins has already been ruled out. Livingston already being ruled out. I don't know if you guys know more about who's been ruled out, but we know that Cousins and Livingston have been. Blazers lost 120-111 on Monday at Oklahoma City. Rodney Hood goes for 9 points in 17 minutes off the bench. This is a healthy group, a very, very healthy group. Oh, Drew Martin saying, Dave, you meet up with Jimmy in LA. I'm going to be following Dave LA around all week is what's up. Dave LA says Blazers money line is my play of the day. Let's take a quick look at the spread. Wow, Blazers money line is the play of the day. I like that. Sorry, let's quickly look at spreads and totals. God, I hate making Drew wait. I feel terrible about doing this. We just got one more game to break down here. And Golden State now 3-point favorites, and the totals crept up 1.5. Wow, this is going to be an interesting spot, and I'm going to be making a move on it in the late show. I even feel like the under could be a spot. Okay, and then we have Suns at Clippers. This is going to take a little bit more time. Drew Martin, thank you for being so patient. Clippers, this is the final game, and then we'll get to Drew. Says Clippers have gone 3-0 against the Suns this season. Now, that was before losing Harris and Bradley and replacing them with Zubac and Temple. And that's a losing move. Now, that first game, Temple goes for 11, Zubac goes for 12, and they shock Boston after Irving's injury. And then they combined for 7 in Minnesota. They also picked up Chandler, Shamet, and JaMychal Green. And I like those guys. Shamet's helped this already very dangerous bench. Now you're going to have Shamet and Lou Will coming off the bench. Very, very dangerous. And King Rail saying over in Portland, Golden State. And Drew Daddy saying, love that play, Rail. Interesting. I'm just going to make a little note here that King is on the over here. KRO. And then Clippers, you have this team that's dominated the Suns. And we do know that Tyler Johnson is questionable for this game. And the Suns are already missing DeAnthony Melton. So we know that TJ Warren's going to be out of the lineup as well. So if they're missing Johnson and Melton, they're going to have to move Booker back to the point guard spot. If they do that, I really feel like the under has got to be a play. So this is a spot where we should wait. We should wait to find out if Tyler Johnson's going to be in the line. This total's crept up to 230 and 230.5. Clippers are now 8.5-point favorites, opened at 9-point favorites. I'm going to wait to make a move here and talk. And Fred Jelly says, if you like the over, Clippers game is the one. Interesting. I really think that we need to wait because if Drew Booker's on the ball, I think the under is in play. I think the under is in play. And Enrico Money says King 6-1 after scoring 100 points in previous game. Also Denver 1-6 last games playing on one-day rest. That's a very interesting point. Well, that's your NHL card. Or excuse me, your NBA card. I've only made one play on this NBA card, but there's going to be a lot more to come. I'm on the over 231 in Kings at Nuggets. Rico Money saying Denver also 0-4 last Wednesday. And Scott saying, are we confident in Clippers due to trade deals still settling out? I'm off Clips until I see they react. I agree with you, Scott. I think they're a mess right now. So I'm only on 2 plays on this early card. We'll see what happens when Drew breaks down the college card. But I'm on the under 6.5 in Edmonton at Pittsburgh, and I got a bad line. I got -115 for the show, -125 in my bet. I thought it was going to possibly be at 6 by the time we do the late show. It looks like I was wrong there. So that's what's up. I'm on the over in that Nuggets game, and that's all I'm at. And now, sorry, thank you so much for your patience, Drew. You are a great man and a great capper. I can't wait to hear what you're looking at with this college basketball card, a huge college basketball card. Drew, first off, thank you for joining Low Shack in the Bag. How are you, my man?
Jimmy, I'm doing good, man. Hopefully you got me audio-wise, but yeah, excited to be on the show, like always. And dude, like, every time I get on here, man, I enjoy the chat. Guys are funny, finding winners. It's the best chat I've ever been a part of. So the LoBag community, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, you are that is music to our ears. It is our chat that makes our show special, and Pete and I know that for sure. Can't wait to hear what you're looking at. Let's go. What's the first game that's jumped out at you that you are very interested in?
Well, I do have some late night action. Actually, 3 games, 8:30 Eastern or later. But I'll try to. I'm looking at SBR odds right now. to I didn't write the game number down, but either way, Vandy, Florida. We got 132 at Bet Online. I know because I just bet it about 20 minutes ago. Florida laying 10 at home. Jimmy, looking at this game, obviously an SEC game, these two teams know each other, and trying to break down Vanderbilt, and they have been an under trender at times against a certain profile of team. Since Garland's been out, he went out early season, they've played some teams that play good defense. And when you look at those games, they played Oklahoma, scored 55 points. They played Mississippi State, 55 points. And they played Kentucky twice, only scoring 52 points and 47 points. Vanderbilt has a really tough time scoring against good defenses because they just don't have talent and they can't run the tempo. They don't have the talent and the ball handlers. So I'm trying to take advantage of that throughout the season with Vanderbilt with some success. Florida, they're a bubble team maybe, but really what they excel at is the defensive end. And it's not always like that under Mike White. A lot of times he likes to run up and down, but this year the Gators, not so much, more of a defensive oriented team. Top 10 defense in terms of efficiency numbers under Ken Palm. Also, they get back on defense a lot, not a lot of transition points. So if Vanderbilt does try to run, it's a team that really gets back on defense. And when you look at Florida, their weaknesses, 2-point shooting percentage, Jimmy, only 47%. Also from the free throw line, 69%. And they lost 3 straight lost their last 2 games. I'm talking about Vanderbilt now against Auburn and Tennessee. And both of those teams run up and down the court. So I think that it's inflated a little bit, this number, 132 now at Bet Online. I like it towards the under, mainly because Vanderbilt isn't going to run it, and Florida does excel on the defensive end. So I'm on the under 132 in Florida Vanderbilt.
Wow, 835, 836 is the spot, Drew. Vanderbilt at Florida, liking the under. That's a very interesting take and makes a ton of sense. Maxwell Smart says heavy movement to the under. Oh, I believe he's talking about this game. Please let me know if you are talking about this game. That's a very, very interesting look and a great breakdown, Drew. I'm going to jot down some notes on what you're talking about, but I love that breakdown very much. What else are you – and you're going to be staying off a side because Florida opens at Bet Online at -11. Now they're down to -10. Pinnacle leading the charge there down to -9.5. You're going to stay off a side in this one?
Yeah, I mean, Vanderbilt, I'm not looking to bet on. Garland out, their best player. They haven't been a good team all season long, lost a bunch of games straight. Florida, on the other hand, a bubble team of sorts, but they're really only good defensively, and I just don't trust them to cover the 10 points, especially, Jimmy, I hate laying points with teams that shoot under 70% from the free throw line. So it's just that combination together. It's too many kind of it's sirens going off as far as stay away from a side. So I just like this under. I put 1 unit on Florida Vandy under the total.
Love it. Love it. That's great stuff, and it helps us for our afternoon study. What else are you looking at in this card?
I got Creighton, Xavier, 146 the total. Pick 'em, seeing -1 each way. No, mostly -1s on Creighton. 1.5 towards Xavier, but mainly just finding change, Jimmy. And we kind of found it here with Creighton. And in my opinion, the best way to win in sports betting is finding change and where the odds makers will be wrong. Creighton, number 21 in offensive efficiency numbers, 58% field goals, 4th in the nation. They can put the ball in the bucket. Number 10 in 3-point percentage as well. But Tyshawn Alexander, their best player, he went out in practice last Tuesday, was banged up, missed the game, came back last game, but only shot 3 of 14, looked banged up, didn't play his normal minutes either. So from the field did not look good. His jump shot was off, and sure enough, Creighton stayed under the total. So going against Xavier tonight, a little bit higher total. It has been touched towards the under. I think a lot of guys seeing what I'm seeing last game out for Creighton, still 145.5 or 146. So I'm going to continue to ride this train of looking to bet Creighton under the total last game in this game. So I guess I can catch it at 146 right now. Looking at a half a unit towards the under in Creighton versus Xavier.
Yeah, the market is, moving in that direction. Also moving towards Creighton. Opened at a pick'em at Bet Online. It's still a pick'em there. I like that breakdown quite a bit. So we're using a half unit on the under in Creighton, Xavier. Money Magnet says Penguins pick Jimmy. No, I'm on the under 6.5, and I really like it. I really like it, and the market's going against me. And I to be honest with you, with Malkin being out of the lineup, Murray playing the way he is, I thought this would be at 6 by the time we came to the late show. So I'm off on this one. Omaha said, I think Creighton is a better team too. Dean Williams saying Xavier overrated. Kyler Reynolds backing Creighton in this spot. Very interesting. So that's a second under for our man, Drew Martin, like in the under in Creighton Xavier, using a half unit on this. And the market's moving in that direction. So there's still 146s on the board, but now 145.5s at 5 Dimes and Heritage, and 145 at Pinnacle, leading the way again towards the under. Under Creighton Xavier, what else are you looking at?
Big Ten action, Jimmy. 8-9, Minnesota, Nebraska. This one's keep it simple. You know, the KISS method of sports betting, keep it simple, stupid. Fade Nebraska. It's been working, man. It's not broken. I'm not fixing it. You can catch 4 with Minnesota. Minnesota, not a good team by any mark, but they hang in there in Big Ten play. Big Ten conference is a good conference, Jimmy. And outside of Michigan State, they really haven't been blown out by anybody. So if you can catch 4 right now on the Gophers, I'm not saying they're a good team. I'm just fading this Nebraska team until it loses. So very simple, a half a unit on Minnesota Golden Gophers +4, Jimmy.
Minnesota Gophers +4, and you have no interest in hopping on a money line or splitting that up with a money line spot?
Not as much on the road, and I'm really just a kind of a straight better as far as point spreads and totals. I mean, I will touch the money line every now and again. You bring up a good point. I didn't even look at it, to tell you the truth, so I'm not sure what you can get. I just put a half a unit on +4 as of now.
And the market is moving in that direction as well. Nebraska opens as 4-point favorites. BetOnline's already moving down to 3.5, and the total stuck at 137.5. So we have another spot. This is very interesting. And Omaha says fade Nebraska. Minnesota +4. Great play. I tail. And my man Lamont Williams says, Jimmy, what about Creighton and the under? You know, I guess Drew. I think we should use Drew as the expert here, but both those plays make sense to me, and I love what Drew's on right now. So right now we have a third play for Drew backing Minnesota at +4. What else are you looking at, Drew?
Yeah, and about that Creighton, you know, part of the handicap on the under is their top scorer being banged out, being banged up, which wouldn't necessarily correlate with betting on them. So I didn't bet the side. I'm just on the under. But last game up, Jimmy. 8-4-2, 8-4-1, 8-4-2, kind of the get-back game of sorts, degenerate special. Out west, Long Beach State, or actually I'm looking at 8-3-9, sorry, excuse me, Cal State Northridge at UC Davis, seeing 145.5 right now at SBR odds. 4.5 UC Davis laying at home. This Cal State Northridge team, want to read a couple stats to you that I read. The Matadors, their head coach, Mark Gottfried, you know, obviously from the ACC had his trouble, but putting him out in a smaller conference out west, it's I think he's one of the better coaches in the country. We got Jai Nye, the Canadian, who also played in Las Vegas, Jimmy. I don't know if you know him, but he's averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, double-double out there, small school style. Under 65% year-to-date from the free throw line, but breaking this game down, their last 2 games, touching near 80% from the free throw line. Actually only 75, but still, it's a big improvement. And just taking a shorter sample size, I think they're starting to find something from the free throw line. Going against UC Davis, they turn the ball over a lot, a 300 team in terms of offensive turnovers. So not a team I'm trusting their guards necessarily. They are a more talented team in the conference, but I think Northridge coming on of late is worth a look. Plus, UC Davis just overall offensively a 290 team in terms of offensive efficiency. So looking to get to lay points here, touching 5. I would look towards the road team here. I got a half a unit on Northridge +4.5.
Cal State Northridge +4.5. Another nice look. So that's the second dog that Drew has jumped on, with Minnesota and Cal State Northridge both road dogs around the same spot. Minnesota +4, Cal State Northridge +4.5. Drew also likes the Vandy Florida under and the Creighton Xavier under. I like these looks. quite a bit. What else is on your radar on this card?
I mean, those are the 4 games that I bet as of now, Jimmy. Looking up and down, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State's always interesting. What Texas Tech hasn't won in Stillwater in a while, but I think that they are the more talented team, obviously the better defensive team. Also look towards the under, just didn't pull the trigger. What else? Miami, still looking to fade Miami going against Clemson. It didn't work out on Saturday. They ended up covering, but I still wouldn't jump off that train of late. I think they still only have 7 guys in rotation there in the ACC. So coming down the end, unless something changes, I would still look to fade Miami. Haven't gotten there yet. However, other than that, not a card that I overly loved. Obviously, always looking to bet Tennessee. It's just the number 15 against South Carolina. I love Tennessee, especially in the SEC against the lower caliber teams. Just that 15 number is pretty big, Jimmy. Laying 15 plus, it gets a little tricky. So I haven't touched any of those, but was looking at all of them.
Drew from the SBR Forum went 3-0 yesterday, backing dogs like Louisville and LSU. He loves South Carolina in this spot. He got him at plus 15.5 and thinks it's just too many points. Lou Chase Fox coming in saying Tennessee first half. Matt Randall coming in saying the taint play today. Okay, Matt Randall has himself a taint play of the day. I think this is going to fly, Matt Randall. I think it's going to stick. Iona, Siena, under 138.5. Smash it. Last time they played, they scored 110. Siena will control the pace at home. That, my friends, is a copy and paste. Who doesn't want to be a part of the taint play of the day? Okay, so I've got Drew's plays, and now I got Matt Randall's taint play of the day. Well, I just want to look at a couple of these spots, and there's a bunch of these teams that I know you know very, very well. I know that you haven't broken down the games, but just off the top of your head, sort of, just like, you can keep it in under 30 seconds. But I see Providence at Villanova. Is this a nice spot for Villanova to bounce back? What's your first inclination when you think of Villanova as 11-point favorites at home against Providence?
Yeah, Providence is a team that I've kind of been looking to fade, bet unders. Just their scoring. I believe they had a key injury early on in the season, and not sure if they've been fully healthy. Losing 3 of 4, Jimmy. It's Villanova or pass. Didn't get involved. Again, I only bet the 4 games so far, but yeah, I would be on Villanova.
Hail to the victors, says Temple, play of the day. Shout out to our man, Hail to the victors. SMU coming to Philly. What do you think of SMU at Temple here? Temple as 5-point favorite. It's gone down to 4.5 at some books.
Jimmy, this is an interesting one. The ACC or the AAC conference in general. This is a conference that I've looked at a lot. Their scheduling, Jimmy, as far as towards the back end, they have their top third teams playing each other more, their middle third and their lower third. So I think this is the first year they're doing it from a betting perspective. I think you can find some travel spots that are there. Also, the way that they've changed the officiating in the AAC is something that totals bettors I know have been on. Overs galore. I believe they're averaging 44 free throws, which is the most in any conference. So going into the season, obviously the officiating crews for the AAC have really concentrating on calling more fouls, and it's been going overs. As far as Temple, SMU has dropped a bunch straight. I haven't really been involved with them, but Temple, UCF, USF, Houston, Cincinnati, those are all teams that I look to bet more on than fade. So gun to head, I'd be on Temple in this one.
A lot of people agreeing with that. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the Florida squads. I know that you're down in that area and you know these teams so well, so I just have to touch on them if you don't mind, Drew. South Florida at UCF. UCF opening at 6.5-point favorites, then now 7.5 favorites, and this total has dropped from 130.5 down to 128 at some books, 128.5 at Bet Online. What are you thinking here? You have a great read on these Florida teams. South Florida at UCF, Drew.
Yeah, these are two. This is where it kind of goes in contrast to that stat I was throwing up about a bunch more free throws than equaling overs in the AAC, because UCF is a team I kind of look to bet towards the under. Just, they got what's his name under the basket there, just a shot blocker. And USF, is the contrasting style as far as I believe they were the pacemaker as far as most free throws in the AAC. They were averaging over 50 free throws in conference play. So it's kind of a contrasting of styles as far as a team that I'm looking to bet under the total and a team I'm looking to bet over the total. So I just stayed away. However, I looked at it a bunch. I mean, this is a fascinating conference, both in football and basketball. It's the most underrated conference, in my opinion. I think that the AAC should get a number of teams into the tournament, not just a one bid league at all. Houston should get a look. Heck, even UCF, if they can pull off a couple victories here, which also means that type of profile game towards the end of the season, Jimmy, usually comes down to, 1-2 possessions. So Foul Fest might be inclined. I would lean over, but haven't bet it.
I hear that, leaning over. I like this breakdown, and you don't mind if I'm just firing this stuff at you, Drew. I love picking your brain, and this is such a wonderful opportunity to do it. I want to ask you another Florida team. We have Florida Gulf Coast at home tonight against NJIT. NJIT has got really nice defense. Florida Gulf Coast opening as a pick 'em at BetOnline, and then quickly becoming 2.5-point favorites. Very curious if you like Florida Gulf Coast just like the market does.
I do, but they don't hit their free throws. I think they're a pretty talented team, for the caliber of conference that they're playing in. NJIT, they don't really hit their free throws either. So it's two teams that I would look to fade more than be on. NJIT lost 2 straight, and now they're having to head down to Florida. I believe it's terrible weather up north. I'm not really sure. Down in Florida, it's a rainy day right now, but anytime that kind of happens, I'm always worried about the guy's mindset, getting in good weather. I'm not sure their travel schedule. Haven't dug deep into that or anything, what hotel they stayed at or anything like that. But I don't really have a play on this one, Jimmy. I would just look to fade both teams. So two teams that I've marked as fade. I'm not involved in it.
Your idea about the travel and some of these guys coming from cold weather cities and coming down to beautiful weather cities is something that I think of a lot as well. And when Max jumped on Howard money line a couple of days ago, I was like, Max, there are red flags all over this. And but the market had moved with Howard. I just had this image of these guys just sitting by the pool, enjoying things so much. And I was like, Max, they're red flags, but if you like it, the market likes it, I'm going to jump on. And I hit with a plus 150 dog on that spot. So you never know exactly how these teams are going to handle things. Shout out to Pie Guy. He says, I went out to shovel earlier. Got to go back soon. Barry Cohen says the weather is terrible here. Maxwell there, he says good weather worked for Howard. You're absolutely right. Interesting. King Relic just coming in saying just took Nets money line, Bucks money line parlay at plus 112. If anyone wants to tail, catch everyone later. Have to go to traffic court. Well, take care of your traffic court. And you know that we got a LoBag lawyer. And for any time you need him, Natalio Pereira. Anytime we need Nate Machiavelli in the chat, we will get him. And Lamont Williams saying my max bet Liberty plus 7. Liberty at Lipscomb. That's going to be a great game tonight. 2 very good teams. Well, we are running out of time here. I absolutely love your breakdowns, Drew. Now, I've got very exciting news for LoBag. We are getting Drew on our show more. We're going to have more Drew in the mornings, and hopefully we'll have more Matt Randall's Taint play of the day. Those are 2 things that I need more of in this show, but we've been talking here in the office. I want Drew on the show more, and we're working that out. Drew, this has been a very huge help for us LoBaggers breaking down this giant college card. We're going to have Max Smart on the Late Show helping us some more. Also going to have Jay Money is Money breaking down this NBA card. Drew, where can we find you on Twitter? What else are you up to this week?
You can find me on Twitter at Drew Martin Betts. Jimmy, also never got to thank you for hooking me up when I was in Costa Rica. You know what I'm talking about. And also, dude, let me know what's up in Costa Rica. What am I missing out on? Are you feeling any better?
I am struggling still. It's just awful. It sucked having you down here. You know what else I'm working on, Drew? We need you down here for March Madness. We need you, Babano, Max Smart down here for March Madness. I'm gonna knock on every office down here saying we just screaming it for the next half an hour. That's my plan before lunch. But yeah, no, I'm still struggling, man. And we got the big LA trip. And I haven't I've been sober for a very long time right now. I'm just craving to be in LA with all of these guys who become my best friends. I just want to cat with them, hang with them. Did you hear we got a Dames and Games, a topless sports bar on the Friday night? I mean, shit's going to be incredible. I wish you could come, Drew. I wish you guys, maybe we can talk about that, but got to get you down here for March Madness. And it broke my heart that I couldn't be at the best betcast with you and partying with you down here. But you did save me by being a co-host when I was really struggling. So that meant so much. And the LoBaggers love you, Drew. So keep up the great work. Just a little reminder of what Drew is on. Vandy, Florida, under. Creighton, Xavier, under. Minnesota, +4. Cal State, Northridge, +4.5. To all the LoBaggers helping us so much, thank you for joining our chat. We don't have a show without you guys. Great stuff, great insights, and very humorous, very funny stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining us. On behalf of myself and Drew Martin and everybody at Sportsbook Review, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the late show. Leche and Los Bookmakers!